colleagues, where agitations is going to start coming up, where you're going to notice discrepancies within relationships, where people may be doing more work than other people, pulling the weight for other people. Maybe there are things around your work colleagues that just, you know what, just rub you up the wrong way. Maybe it's you've outgrown certain situations within work, or things just aren't viable anymore within and around your work. It could be things like even just personal relationships. You know, people that have been drinking buddies, I don't no longer want to be doing that anymore. People that just take from you. Your values have completely changed within relationships now. Maybe suddenly you've become a parent, and actually that single life is no good anymore. Whatever it might be, there are going to be so many things that are going to come up that are personal and individual to yourself. If you look around your relationship dynamics, things that don't no longer work, around your home life, around your money, around your value system, about where you see yourself going forwards, where you certainly don't see yourself going back, how you're going to get yourself back on an even keel. But the thing is, most of us are going to have come from last year, been spat out the other end, and going to be tested about where we are going to be, and our faith remains about moving forward rather than going back to prehistoric things that we know are no good and just basically do not work. Okay. Right, I want to go on about this other subject as well. So I'm hoping I'm making sense, because I'm kind of like waffling, and I'm usually would like to think I'm a bit more succinct than what I'm saying. I'm just going to have a look at some of these other questions. Okay, so yeah, I touched upon this, and I was saying to you about, excuse me with my dummy. Yeah, I was saying about about this as well, about last year, about going through this same cycle. Okay, what we've also got coming in, okay, is going to be not only have we got this, as I say, we've already got Jupiter going into Pisces. Okay, so we've come out of Taurus, where we were talking about our value systems, okay, quality over quantity, what we do, what we don't like, and then going into this whole Mercury retrograde thing, with Mercury going into Gemini, which again is communicating and going back over, reviewing, reassessments, okay, how we're thinking, feeling, how we're communicating this, how we're putting things across, okay, what was put across to us, what we're now reassessing on. Do you know what? Do I really rate this? Do I really want to do this? Is this the right time to be doing this? How do I feel about everything now, and how am I going to be communicating going forwards, all right, and focusing in how I'm going to be carrying this out, okay? Now the problem we've got here, again, all right, is we've got this eclipse cycle coming back in. Now, this is why I'm saying this is so much going on within the next like 10 days, which is going to carry out, okay, and go forward for the next at least 2 to 3 years, because this isn't just going to be petering out. This is going to be something that's going to be monumentally carrying forward, okay? So what I'm gonna do, because some of you are asking me, what is so eclipses, okay, right, basically eclipses are a dynamic, like, cosmic occurrence, okay, that activate the lunar nodes. Now, I'm going to go into the astrology side of it. So, simply put, okay, the moon glides across what we call like the elliptical, okay, and this basically constantly rotates around the zodiac. Okay, the highest and the lowest points of the orbit correspond with the lunar nodes, okay. These appear in our, like, so if I ever was to do a birth chart for somebody, or you were to look at your own birth chart here, okay, they are like basically the south and the north node, okay. So you know, like when I said about the south node in Sagittarius, north node in Gemini, do you know what I mean, how basically these are a confliction, okay. So the south and north nodes, they're often referred to as the nodes of fate, okay. So you know, again, I've mentioned this before about karmically, how this is a karmic period that we are going through. So this basically symbolise, all right, this the north and south nodes, the direction, okay, of where we need our life path is, okay, our past and our future, our karmic pathway, all right. Now, accordingly, eclipses activate these nodes within our birth charts, okay, illuminating our destiny, all right. So where people say about fate, all right. So the differences between like a solar and a lunar eclipse, right, okay, these are, so basically there are two types of eclipses. There are solar and a lunar eclipse, okay. Solar eclipses occur during the new moon phase when the sun and moon are positioned at the exact and same degree within the same zodiac sign. So for an example, right, okay, right, well, in this configuration, so like say the moon passes between the sun and earth temporarily, okay. So basically what that does is then obscure the sun, okay. So if this occurs during daylight, so back in August 2017, okay, there was a great eclipse. Yeah, so right, okay, so right, so basically the moon passes between the sun and the earth, okay, so temporarily, okay, it'll obscure the sun, okay. If this now occurs during daylight, okay, the results basically for several moments the sun is completely obscured by the moon silhouette, okay. Yeah, right, okay. So a lunar eclipse, okay, on the other hand, this corresponds with the full moon phase, but unlike a normal full moon, okay, that we have that reflects the sun's illumination, during a lunar eclipse the moon emanates the earth's shadow known as the umbra. Right, so the earth would then be almost like perfectly wedged between the sun and the moon. The moon then, you know, like when we say about a blood moon, so it'll be like a tawny red tone. Yeah, and this is why often it is called a blood moon, because of that, okay. The lunar and solar eclipses also signify, okay, different types of shifts in astrology, okay. Yep. So the dates for the eclipses in 2021, okay, these are, yeah, these are what we've got coming in, okay. So on Wednesday, May the 26th, and this is why I've been trying to talk to you about some of these things that are going on, okay? This is a total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Now, going back to why I was talking about things about limited travel, why I was saying that I feel like it's just a waste of time people talking about going away. Because last year, when we had the eclipses going on, and I was saying to you about how we had the moon was in Cancer, it was eclipsing with Sagittarius here, which was all about our immediate environments, and then we were talking about our localized travel. I feel we're going to be seeing that happening yet again. All right, now this is where it gets interesting, guys, because as I say, we've got this total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on Thursday, June the 10th. Okay, we've got the annual solar eclipse in Gemini, and then we've got this sorry, I'll have to write things down. Okay, Friday, November the 19th. Okay, we've got the partial lunar eclipse in Taurus, and then we've got to finish this whole cycle out this year. Okay, we'll have one on the Saturday, December the 4th. Okay, which will be a total solar eclipse, okay, in Sagittarius. So we go from the total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius to the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Okay, now just to go on to this, okay, even though eclipses are major, all right, and let me just finish saying these bits, because otherwise I'm going to keep going over and I'm going to forget what I'm talking about. Okay, but even though these eclipses are major, they're actually not that rare. Okay, these are quite, they're people get worried about eclipses, and to be honest with you, but each year there are about 3 in 7 eclipses, and they often occur in clusters. Now these ones that we've got here, as I say, are a cycle. So we've got a 1.5 year eclipses series begin on the Friday the 5th of June, okay, 2020. Yeah, and they were from the Gemini Sagittarius axis. Now this is what I was talking about, okay? Shifting our methods of communication, okay? This is what Gemini symbolises, okay? And an interest in learning new ways of living, connection with other cultures, and this is like the Sagittarius thing here, okay? And when we think about it, we're bringing in a new way of even things to do with the with politics, okay, like with Trump now going into Biden, how when we look about all of the immigrants, the refugees, okay, immigration, how we're doing things with the EU, how we've come out of it, how we're drawing attention to verbalising everything, okay. So as we bring in a new administration and reckon with a post-Trump world, okay, we have to also unite the nation to deal with everything from the pandemic to systemic racism, and doing our own biases to accomplish all of this. We must not only be willing to have conversations, but also to accomplish all of this and be open to changing our own minds and our own views. We've got the final eclipse on this axis, like I said, December the 4th, okay, when a total solar eclipse, and this is at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. This concludes this 1.5 year cycle. However, that's not the only date this year that's important, okay, because we also had the eclipses, which basically they started from the Taurus Scorpio axis, and these eclipses lasted for like 2 years, okay. Now this started off, if you remember, like I said a minute ago, okay, the total we had a partial lunar eclipse, and that was, yeah, an ending also October the 23rd, sorry, let me have a look at this, 2023. Taurus is this is from the earth sign and Scorpio, the water sign. Okay, these eclipses will push us into work, how we're going to be passionate about our work, okay, and understanding relationships in the sense again about loyalty, and what is and what isn't and healthy for us. So this whole thing is, so I'm trying to read what some people are writing whilst I'm saying this as well. So like I say, this whole theme about work, relationships, how we're working, our value systems, how things are falling away, how we need things to fall away, what makes us uncomfortable, what no longer works with us, what no longer jives with us, and things that we've been clinging on to, things that we need to let go. And even when we're not letting go, things are falling away anyway, but we already know they don't work. Okay, but we're insistent on trying to keep making things work for us, even though we know they're bad for us. And this is how we've got to try and start psychologically getting into this pattern of going, I'm trusting my intuition, okay, this Pisces element, and I'm going to expand and grow, okay, my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions. I'm going to change the way I'm thinking. I'm going to change my habits. I'm going to go with my gut about and what qualities that I embrace and I enjoy and I like and I know are good for me and I know that will work, whether it's for nobody else's sake, but it is for my own. How we came into the new year with this Aries, it's all about me, it's all about how I feel, it's all about what I want, what I need. Okay, if you notice, there's this whole theme about you know, me, myself and I, okay, versus last year it was about the familiar, my family, what I'm going to be creating, what I'm going to nurture, what I'm going to make feel safe in my space, my immediate environment, my family, my friends, who's in it, who's against it, who I want here, who I don't. Now this is about, right, I've now created my space last year, this is how I feel about it, this is what I've managed to rebuild, this is what makes me feel good, this is my immediate space. I am now going out there with this expression of who I really am and what I'm going to create, and this is what I've got to work with. These are who I've got to work with. This is how I am now emerging out of this space on my own, confident, able, and this is what I'm going to go forward with, and I'm okay with that. And this is what we're going to be going into this whole 2022 and beyond. And this is what I've been trying to say to people. This is so very, very important. And people can take the piss as much as they wanted to last year, okay, about the dramatic maybe way I was going on about relationships, but now do you understand why? This is going to be reshaping and reforming, and the world as we know it is going to be reshaping and reforming. And this isn't just going to be like, as they're saying, we're going to be reverting back to how things were before. No, 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 no. Things are never going to be going back. And we've only got to be seeing how things are shaping up. And it's about what things we're going to want to be creating. Seriously. Okay, because some of the ideas, radical, Some of the new age things that are coming in are just, I mean, so far away from human connection and contact. Some may be necessary, but then we have to think about jobs and how things are going to be, what's going to be created from some of this innovation, and what things do we really still need to be holding on to, and how are we all going to be reworking things, and most of all the human connection, the human touch, the empathy, the feeling, versus the radical kind of everything being online, at a touch of a button. How are we going to be wanting things shaping about, you know, qualities and things like that? What kind of energy, sorry I'm kind of going off this because I'm answering other questions as well. What kind of energetic shifts do eclipses signify? Okay, right, okay, so well, basically, okay, right, so a new moon, they're linked to beginnings, and full moons are tied to culminations, okay, so endings, okay, so the cycles of a new start to so it's from start to finish, really, okay. Eclipses serve okay, as kind of like checkpoints, really. An eclipse is a, I guess how some people would say, is a high octane lunation that helps illuminate where we're going, all right. But just as these eclipses take place, that for some they are dramatic. When we say about like astrology, okay, eclipses speed up time, okay. They open new doors by slamming other doors shut. So, you know, like I say, when one door opens, another door closes. Usually, it's like I said, significantly looking back over what I keep going on about last year, what should have ended. Normally, there'll be a culmination. So it'll be, when I say about speeding things up, it'll be like, you know, if you knew something should have ended, you knew something should have gone, you'll normally have an awareness of it. Tensions will start rising. Things will start kind of happening, brewing up to that. You'll feel, and usually, you know, when I say something is a brewing, I feel I'm feeling something in the water. Something's happening. Something's off. I'm not, you know, things will just start emerging, and then boom, a relationship will go, or a job will go, or your car will break down, or something will happen that you knew should have got rid of something. This is normally what an eclipse cycle will bring something around, usually with a sharp ending, okay. Not normally does it always have to be bad, may I say. So you often find abrupt and sudden shifts occurring during eclipses, okay? So though the shifts can be jarring, they can help us by speeding up the inevitable. Like I say, like relationships will just usually end. Things like if you've been dragging your feet on something, an eclipse will be sure to give you usually an extra push through that door. if you need to take action on things, yeah, they can be shocking, but it's usually the inevitable, and usually, to be honest with you, you knew that things were going to happen anyway. So that's what we always say to people, or if you know something's not right, do it yourself before like eclipse season starts happening. This Mercury retrograde is going to give you a good idea, to be honest with you, before June the 10th, okay, where things need to be changing. You should have already started seeing these things anyway, okay? And normally when an eclipse cycle comes in, it normally will take something out to bring something better in to replace it. Or, like I just said previously as well, coming up to this, all right, with this period where we had the Taurus and the Sun in Taurus, okay, and then going into the Jupiter in Pisces period, where things were quite nice actually. There was about 4 days. There was about 10, probably just over a week, 10 days, and then particularly 4 days, which were a very nice period, okay, where things probably came in, started moving along quite nicely. You could see where things were going. Or you probably had a bit of a chill down period, and now things are starting to get a little bit unrest. You'll probably notice now where you probably got things in place. You can see where things are going. Things have started slowing down. There might be a reassessment or a review over the next few weeks, okay? And then you'll start to see, right, okay, this is where things need to go out, and this is where this new cycle is going to start taking form. All right. So saying this solar eclipse, yeah, it's going to occur on Thursday, June the 10th. All right. And Saturday, this will go on then to Saturday, December the 4th. Okay. So this is where, like I said, I'm going to get my notes out here, guys, so I can kind of like just read some of this, because I know you're going to be asking me questions on this as well. So this corresponds with the new beginnings and unexpected opportunities. So the Sun, this symbolises our external experience, and this is where it's obscured, okay, by the Moon. And this represents our emotional inner world, okay, so our expression to our internal, okay. During this lunation, so solar eclipse events often first begin internally. So how we feel about things, going back to that Cancer moon at the beginning of last year. Do you remember when I was saying about like Cancer being about our home, being about our immediate environment, how we want to nurture, how we feel about being within our home, because we had the lockdown, okay, coming in, creating our environment, creating our space, okay, where we were going to be returning home to, okay, that cocoon, our emotional feelings, okay. So solar eclipses, yeah, often first begin internally before they affect our relationships with others, okay. For many people, solar eclipses are when we realise we need more than what we're currently receiving. They're a time to send kind of like how our private thoughts, okay, and kind of sit with ourselves, and meditation, okay, writing things down, making mental notes, verbalizing, talking about how we're feeling, talking about what we want, do you know what I mean, our intentions, putting them out there in a positive way. The lunar eclipses help us realise the external implications of these shifts. It's often during a lunar eclipse that we become aware of the influence of others around us, okay. the moon emits a mystifying undertone. So at night time, do you know what I mean? We may feel, that's when we feel like the most sensitive, isn't it? When we go to bed at night, we may think about the day. It allows us to see people under a different light. The perspective is usually one that we don't always like. Eclipses or lunar eclipses, we're usually this is where we're encouraged to let go of what we typically say, what is no longer serving us. With just that Scorpio, I'm going back to the other week, a few weeks ago. That was absolutely horrendous. I struggled with that massively. It brought up a lot of feelings for me, purging things out and being very self-analytical, very critical. Emotionally, I felt I needed to go in really deep and purge a lot of stuff out. Yeah, so we've got we've got this lunar eclipse occurring on Wednesday, the May the 26th. We've got this another one November the 19th. These endings are going to bring around abrupt changes, guys. That they are around those times. They're going to. It's going to be culminations, but everything is cyclical. A culmination always occurs on the edge of a new beginning. We would have already, like I said, going back, you will kind of know where these indications are. So what do eclipses mean for you? So, okay, so the Gemini Sagittarius eclipses will impact everyone differently, okay? Usually based in areas around your birth chart, okay? When things are discussed about lunations, we refer to these in ways in which they impact a chart, an eclipse story, okay? These narratives unfold over this series approximately 2 years, which is what I've been kind of like saying to you guys. This isn't going to be just a momentary thing. It's not going to be 6 weeks, 6 months. This is going to be a longer period now. So according, so the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on June the 5th, 2020 was a big deal. That one was because it was the first lunation in a series. In other words, basically it marked the very first chapter of a new karmic story, and I keep saying that to you. Think back to what occurred in your life at that time and consider the major players, conflicts and the location around that happened. So go back to that journey, go back to those videos, go back to the things that I was posting at that point, okay? I'm just going to read this to you guys because it's going to be easy, because I wrote this down significantly. This round of eclipses comes to a close with the solar eclipse in Sagittarius on December the 4th, 2021. So it's a year to when I posted, to a year to now, okay? Relationship issues in particular, surrounding your ability to speak your truth. While Gemini is all about the nuances of communication, okay, Sagittarius, okay, is a bit bolder and may speak loudly to get what you want. So it should come to a culmination at this date. In all honesty, while both Gemini and Sagittarius are highly attractive and charming signs, they can also be very messy. Okay, cycles may come to a close, but don't expect tidy endings. Okay, not at all. Either you're going to work things out and feel like everything's really great, or you should be prepared to let relationships end here. If the latter happens, just know it's for the best in the long run. Okay, don't try to go back and make things just don't do it. Just don't try and re-cement things. Okay. As for the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle, which begins on November the 19th, okay, this is with the lunar eclipse in Taurus. All right. The last time these came around was in November 2012, and I'll go back to that date again, guys. Okay. To October 2014. What life lessons began for you nearly a decade ago? Is your life on your dream path, or does this next cycle in 2021 mean finally using your willpower and psychic passion to turn dreams into reality? Scorpio in particular, which is ruled by warrior planet Mars, and Pluto, the ruler of the underworld, knows how to transform and shed old skin to get what it wants. Okay, everyone will be impacted by these eclipses, though some charts will be electrified more than others. If your lunar nodes are in Gemini, Sagittarius, or Taurus, Scorpio, okay, buckle up. This next year and a half will be wild. By 2023, everything will be different, and don't worry, it will likely be for the better. Now, I'm telling you, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Scorpio, most certainly Capricorns here, okay, are most likely to be hit by this, and Cancerians, okay, without a shadow of a doubt. If your nodes are not in these sides, things still going to change. Planets are also activated by the eclipses. Planets in mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces, will be activated by the Gemini, Sagittarius eclipses. The fixed signs here, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, will be activated by the Taurus, Scorpio eclipses kicked off in November 19th. Whether this placement is your sun or moon, okay, or somewhere else, you'll feel the shift from these potent lunations, especially Scorpios and Tauruses, the latter end, the later dates, okay. So those at the later end of November, Scorpios, for example, you're going to likely be hit more likely than the earlier Scorpio placements in October, okay. Whether or not, just looking at some of your questions here, sorry. Yeah, so whether or not the upcoming eclipses of 2021 will make a direct hit on your birth chart, okay. Eclipses are a powerful impact, and they're a significant time for everybody, and the best way to embrace these, expect the unexpected. Uranus energy, geez, just go with that one for a start. And remember, most things are happening to get you out of stuck cycles, where we're limiting ourselves. We know where we need to be going. We don't want to be staying stuck, guys. We want to be moving out of things. We want to, or we should, the whole purpose of our lives is to grow, and to expand, and to have new things coming in. We don't want to be stuck with the same crusty old existence. We want to be making better. We want other people's lives to be better. When things come in, it gives us the opportunity to assess. Like the whole thing with these retrograde cycles is to make a reassessment of things. You know, do we like this new way of being? Actually, do we want to revert back to the old? There are a lot of things to be said about the old, and having change, but can we gel these things together or not? There's so much to it. Like I say, I mean, I've come on for this chat. I'm going to try and take the best out of what we've been what you've been asking me and how I've been putting things across, because I've no idea what this sounds like playing back until I upload it and see what's been said and how I've put this across. I hope it has answered some of your questions and it has been a little bit helpful, guys. I am going to try and where it's going to impact each and every sign, and try and do a few tarot bits as well on this. But I wanted to come on and do a bit of a chat with you guys and see, you know, or try to at least address some of what I was, and try to explain why things haven't gone up in the last few days and that, like I promised. But I will try and come back on later and upload something that might be a little bit more significant, because I think this is going to run out. I know my iPad's going to run out of charge in a minute, and that, so I'm going to say goodbye to some of you here, okay, and thank you for coming in. And for those of you that are going to be watching this back, I hope you've taken something out of it, and I hope it does make sense, okay. Blimey, it is like nearly, I know, it's like 10 to 6 in the morning. I need to try and get some sleep as well before I try and come back on and do this again. You take care, guys. Nighty night, or have a nice day at work, whatever it is you guys are all doing, and I will endeavour to come back on later. I hope I haven't rambled on a complete load of crap, and there is something you can take out of this. And as I was saying, I'm going to try and upload some of the stuff in a little while, at least some of the house stuff, and see if I can make this a little bit more neat and tidy. Alright, I'll speak to you guys later.